We're looking at the area in front of our building on Monday, April 16th at about 8:30 p.m. This is a low area that water doesn't drain from on its own. And let's take a look at what it did overnight. So we'll fast forward. Now you can see on the other side of the street, the size of the puddles is stable. And this one is draining into the curb. Now I just paused there so that we could look at the next day. We're now in early morning of April 17th, so that's Tuesday morning. And I'm just jumping ahead in increments of about 15 minutes or half an hour. So let's take a look at it by 6 a.m. Tuesday morning. That puddle has drained. If we go to later that day, about 7 p.m., 7:30 p.m., it's gone. So it looks like it's drained into the roadbed. So we're jumping ahead here to Thursday afternoon at about 1:45, and what we have is a roadbed that's been dry since Tuesday morning. So it's been dry for more than 48 hours. You can see here there's a little bit of moisture in the roadbed, but there hasn't been any water accumulating in this very low area. Later in this video, we'll show what we expect to see when water is not draining through the roadbed. We'll show basically how low this area is. So what we decided to do, since there had been no rain and no water accumulation, is we decided to put water in here. So we spent about 2 hours from about 2 o'clock to about 4 o'clock filling this up with a hose. Now that we're supplying the water, you can see the hose here, this gives you an idea of how deep this depression is. And what we want to know is what happens to the water. So it's at its maximum at about 4 p.m. Thursday afternoon. And then as we scroll forward, you can see the water decline, but it's not draining. So if you look at where this arrow is, this would be the high point in the road. We filled it up to the high point. If water were to drain, it would drain in this direction. If you follow the arrow, it would go south, and water isn't draining south into the catch basin, which would be about 60 feet that way. So we're going ahead to 5 o'clock, almost 6 o'clock. The water level is decreasing. 6:30. And notice, so the water level significantly decreased. It's not from evaporation. Standing water on the other side of the road here has not moved anywhere. This is water that's draining through the roadbed. And now it's about 10 o'clock at night. It continues to decline and continues to decline. So that water is going underground into some kind of underground cavity. We're continuing to watch this water Friday morning. So this is about 12:30 in the morning. We'll skip ahead till 3:15, 4:47. Now it's 7:30. It's not draining as low as it did on Tuesday morning. There's still a little bit of pooling, but all of that water has disappeared. Now, when we get to 2:42 in the afternoon, we see the water level starting to build up. So we're still in a melting stage where this is a warm day on Friday where we've got snow at the back end of the building that's melting and putting water into the road. There hasn't been any rain for a week or more. And we can see that this is building up again on Friday. So it looks like a cavity was filled, or the cavity wasn't filled and whatever holes allowed the water to go through the roadbed got plugged up, but the water appears to no longer be going through the roadbed. How much water went through the roadbed? Well, it might have been hundreds of gallons. It's hard to say. So now we're jumping ahead to Monday morning at about 6:30. Here's Monday morning at about 8:30. This is a full week after we first noticed the water draining into the roadbed. And this shows the full extent of the cavity. So for the first time that we can see in the last week, the water is now pooling up to the height that it has pooled to in the past, and it's actually passing this high area and running towards the drain. If the road was level, if it hadn't sunk, then water should be running towards the drain in this direction.